Thank you, thank you. I am so honored to accept the role of queen of getting my shit together. Now, I wouldn't be here if not for these wonderful apps, websites, and extensions that have literally changed the game for me. Because I'm a kind human, here is how you can also become someone who has their life together. Let's go. First and foremost, we have Idenati, which is also today's sponsor. Idenati has changed the way that I use my browser. Something that I've been working on is living with more intention, so being more mindful and only having the things that really bring me joy or either are truly necessary. And Idenati helps me simplify my browser so that becomes something that is true. I'm the type of person that has a bajillion tabs open digitally and mentally, and it's exhausting. So Idenati helps me organize all of those tabs so I can declutter whatever is unnecessary. Idenati is what opens whenever I open my browser, and this is what it looks like. Instead of tabs, we have these tiles, and I really like the use of the tiles because you can sort them into categories. On the top, we have all my favorited tiles or tiles that are extremely important. For me, that would be my school's login website as well as YouTube. So here in these tiles, we have all these categories. For example, Korean. If I click on Korean, it shows me all the things that I have in my Korean resource. This is especially helpful whenever I'm trying to manage my various digital spaces. So I have my school, work, personal things like bills, and my different platforms like Subtle Asian Book Club, which is a book club that I managed, and Written Connections, which is another project that I have. So I have all these other things, and a lot of them intertwine together. So let's look at Subtle Asian Book Club. So for example, let's look at Goodreads. Now, normally when you just click on the tile, it would open up tab right away. But if I wanted to edit Goodreads, I could edit it, and you can add your username as well as your password. For me, I don't have my username or my password in it because I'm pretty sure I use Facebook to log into Goodreads. So yeah, but Goodreads is under the category of reading, twirling pages, and a Subtle Asian Book Club. So it's in various things, and I think this is a really unique feature that you can't see or use in like a regular bookmarks bar. Just makes things a lot easier and saves a lot of time. So I really like Idenati, and I've been using it for the past couple of weeks. Would highly recommend trying out Idenati. I've left all the information in the links below, so check it out. And again, thank you Idenati for sponsoring today's video. Next up, we have Notion, which is everybody's favorite organization tool as of late. I'm not going to go deeply into Notion just because I have a very extensive Notion, and I explain how I use Notion in my how I organize my life video, but then because that video was only talking about Notion, I wanted to mostly touch base on all the other apps, websites, and extensions that have helped me sort things out. Now I don't really use Notion as much for scheduling, and instead I use Fantastical, which is a calendar app that I really like. It's a very popular calendar app in how I am organizing my schedule, which can be really a lot. I used to use Google Calendar, but I'm not a really big fan of Google Calendar's interface. I didn't like the way it looked. So I was using iCal prior to Fantastical. I like iCal's interface, but then there were just like some things that are missing. So then when I tried Fantastical, it was like a combination of all the things that I wanted. I feel like there are other calendar apps out there that can be a little bit more sophisticated and has all the features, and I know technically I could still use iCal, but I just like Fantastical a little bit more. Normally, I would have my Notion for all the things that I need to do and all the tasks I would need to do. So I use Notion mostly for a to-do list along with organizing like everything else. But then after that, I go into Fantastical and I block out time for when I'm going to complete those tasks. So like, let's say I need to film a video today and I have film video blocked out. Simple. There's some features about Fantastical that I like. So for example, I like how you have the weather, and I like how you have your agenda on the side. So in addition to seeing it visually in the center, you can also see the time and agenda on the side. I know you can integrate your to-do list into Fantastical, but personally I don't use the to-do list feature, and I mostly just use it for calendar blocking. It's also really easy to create new tasks. It looks and feels very similar to iCal, which I like, and I just really like the interface. So that's what I'm using for my days. That is fantastical and how I organize my schedule and basically organize my day-to-day life. Along with that, my favorite mobile app as of late has been Routinery, which is basically a routine app that has saved my life in terms of routines anyway. One of my main goals for like the past couple of months that I have been really struggling to stick with is consistently sticking to my morning routine. And I've been using Routinery for like the past week or so, and I am so proud of myself for actually sticking to my habits. I've read a lot of books. Okay, maybe like one book. But I've read a lot of articles and listened to many podcasts about how to create better habits or how to create new habits. And it's usually with habit stacking, which means that you stick your habits to ones that are already implemented. So for example, if I already work out and I want to try meditating, then I should try meditating immediately after working out so it's stuck there. Routinery helps me set that by setting up my routine. So I have my morning routine and my night routine, and my morning routines are pretty extensive. Don't ask me why I need to pee for 5 minutes in the morning. It is what it is. But basically, this is Routinery. I really like it because it tells you the time and how long it takes. So it has a timer for when you're doing X, Y, and Z. So let's say you want to do all of these things in your morning routine, and it'll tell you it's going to take around 3 hours, because I feel like before I wouldn't have a realistic goal for how long it's going to take for me to do all the things that I want to do, and then I feel really frustrated at the end of the day. It's also helpful because of the timer, because then I have no excuse and I have to keep going with the next habit, or else it'll have like reminders and be like, hey, you need to continue on with your routine. If not, somehow in between these tasks, I will be stuck scrolling on my phone and getting distracted by like the world. But anyway, let's continue. Let's say I'm brushing my teeth. It's gonna take 4 minutes, and then after I'm done, I just click this check mark, and then I do my skincare, which I said is going to click 8 minutes, and then when I'm done, I just click this check mark, and then the time on the bottom adjusts itself accordingly. And if it goes over time, then you have the option to snooze and the option to have more time, and it will adjust your end time accordingly. And then if you pause or if you go over time, then it'll give you notifications being like, hey, go back to your routine. You need to continue doing this, which I need that. I need that person yelling at me. Okay, maybe not yelling. I need that person like reminding me to do the things that I need to do. So let's wait until this is over so I can show you how it would show up as a snooze button. There you go. Okay, you have the option to snooze for a minute, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes. And 1 minute gives you another minute, and then you can click your check mark, say you're done. Yeah, I'm gonna exit my routine. Awesome sauce. Next, a similar-ish, not really. I'm trying my best to segue. A similar-ish, but not really app is Forest, which is a very popular timer app where you basically just build a forest. And isn't that so wonderful? I love nature. Basically, Forest is an app that lets you plant a tree for X amount of time, and then once you plant a tree, you have to keep going with your task. So let's say I want to study for 20 minutes. When I plant my tree to study for 20 minutes, I am going to go study. And if I get distracted and I go back on my phone and I use my phone for whatever reason, so like, I don't know, scrolling on Instagram or something, then my tree will die. And why would I do that? Why would I kill my tree? I won't. So I'm going to keep studying. How I use Forest on my browser is by using this Chrome extension. So we have two modes, which is allow list mode and block list mode. In the settings, you would go to allow list, which means that you are only allowed to go onto these websites. And block list mode would mean that you can go on any website except for these websites. This is the default, except I change allow list to identity. So I'm going to show you an example. You go to Forest, you click on your tree and you start planting, or if you want to like adjust the time, you can also adjust the species. This also syncs with your mobile forest, but I just didn't log in. It's fine. So you have this. My forest is growing. Identity is fine. I could use identity. But then if I go and try to open up how to study Korean, it'll be like, hey, your tree is still growing. You're not able to access this website. Do you want to give up and kill your tree? Or do you want to continue doing the work that you need to do? Now you've seen my browser from a couple of earlier examples, but now I want to highlight my love for my browser, which is Brave. If you're not using Brave, you should use Brave. I have to kill my tree to show you what Brave looks like. I don't really know how to explain Brave, except that Brave is better than Safari and Chrome and Firefox, which are the 3 most popular browser apps. Brave is superior to them all. So Brave is like a more secure and faster version of Google Chrome. So the main reason why I don't really like Chrome is because Google steals all of your information. Now, if I'm gonna be real, I know this is hypocritical because I still use a lot of Google stuff. I still use Google Assistant, I still have a Google Home, I use Gmail, Google Docs, Drive, whatever. But it makes me feel better using Brave because I'm like, oh, I'm doing a little bit better on my data and privacy. The most compelling thing is that Brave is significantly faster than Chrome because it doesn't track all of your information. And I've noticed this whenever I go back to use Chrome, Safari, or anything else, and I'm like, why is this loading so slowly? I used to think it was my internet or is like something wrong on my end, but then now I switched to Brave and I'm like, it should be this fast. This is great. The best thing about Brave is that it feels like Chrome. So I had attachment issues to Chrome because of its interface, the way it works. Chrome extensions are the best thing ever, but it's very easy to transfer from Chrome to Brave because it feels the same. Everything is the same. You can use Chrome extensions on Brave, which is like a compliment to Brave, which is technically not officially on this list of top 10 productivity apps, lifesaver things, is DuckDuckGo. And DuckDuckGo is a more private and more secure search engine. And so that is the search engine of choice that I use. I think it's really ironic because I learned about Brave through TikTok and I still use TikTok, even though TikTok is like the most horrendous of them all in terms of like taking your data. And it's a little scary, but I'm grateful for the algorithm for giving me resources. Okay, anyway, you should use Brave and you should use DuckDuckGo. Would recommend. Also, the mobile app is great too. So we talked about calendar, to-do lists, timers, and whatever. So now let's talk about my emails. So for my emails, I actually use this app called Spark. The reason why I use Spark is because I really do not like Apple's mail app because it is very dumb. It's very not intuitive and it looks ugly. Yeah. And I also don't like checking my mail through a browser. So like through Gmail. I don't think there's anything wrong with Gmail. I'm just not a fan of it. I just like having an app for my emails instead of a website. And Spark has a very nice interface. It has a very nice Mac interface as well as a very nice iPhone interface, which is the main thing. I can have all of my emails in one place. So my school email, my work email, my personal email, and I can pin these emails. And the best thing is that I can schedule emails, and I know Gmail can do this too. However, I just like Spark better. I'm not gonna really talk too deeply about Spark because it's just an email app, and I feel like a lot of the features are kind of just like the bare minimum of what an email app should have. But then I also know my criteria for a bare minimum is like pretty high. Bless you, Spark. I'm very grateful for your existence. Now, I feel like I've talked a lot about productivity apps or apps that will like help you organize and get your life together. But if I'm gonna be real, if you're not in the right headspace, then no matter what all of these other apps will supplement, you will still not be able to tackle the things that you need to do. That said, the next app that I want to share is Headspace, which I think is the most popular meditation app and also the meditation app of my choice. I really like Headspace because the interface looks very visually appealing and I like the different packs that it offers. I've tried other meditation apps like Calm, but I'm not a big fan, and I think I'm just biased because I started with Headspace. So yeah, use Headspace. Would highly recommend meditating if you are struggling with like feeling super restless or anxious or like stressed out. I feel like meditation has helped me a lot through the past couple of years. Headspace is something that is audio based. And so my final two are also audio-ish based apps. First one is Endel, which I believe you have to have a subscription, but I tried it out for the first couple of months and I really liked it, mostly because of the sleep sounds. So Endel is an AI sound, calculates the energy level based on your time and location. I don't know how it does this. They're just like soothing sounds. For example, this is the focus one and this is what I would use. That's an example of like what it sounds like. I would usually play this on the background when I'm trying to study or when I need to journal or just like do things, but I like to have music in the background. The thing that made me decide to subscribe to this was the sleep sounds. So I would play this and then I would set a timer for like an hour and it would help me fall asleep. I kind of have trouble sleeping, so this was very helpful for me to fall asleep, and then I also just like the sounds. Now, the final app of choice that has been my lifesaver for the past couple of months. Well, technically all of these apps. All of these apps and websites and extensions, I'm a big fan, but the last app is one that most people would be like, huh? But it is Discord, and you're probably wondering, why is Discord on this list? Because it's technically like a social media, social platform, but Discord has been really helpful to connect with my friends through video calls, playing games. Discord has a lot of bots. Discord is like very extensive and it could be like a lot, but I wanted to include Discord because I also use Discord whenever I am studying. For studying, I would either play Endel's music in the background or I would join a Discord voice channel and I would play music through the bot. So the difference between Discord and Endel is that like I think in actuality I would probably work better or more efficiently through Endel's music, but then Discord makes me feel more motivated because I can see my friends also working along with me. How I would do this would be through my server's studying channel. So in my server I have like a studying category and within it there's playlist and study cafe. So normally if somebody else is also studying, they would usually ping the people who want to be pinged, and then we would all join the study cafe, and then you can go into playlist and then you can play, usually it's lo-fi music or just like calming music in the background, and then you can talk about what am I doing, and then this music will be playing in the background and you can see other people who are also in this voice channel who are listening to this music, and you feel a stronger sense of connection versus like I am just doing this alone. So because of COVID and because of quarantine, we're not able to go to cafes or coffee shops or libraries, but I think this is like the similar feeling as if you were to go to a cafe, coffee shop or library and then you are working on your own thing and you're not really talking to other people, but then you just see other people also working on their own thing and then you feel more motivated to like do work as opposed to just focusing on yourself. And also I just love Discord because all the Discord servers that I'm in, not to plug but yes to plug, like my server and Subtle Asian Book Club server and my friend Rihanna at Milky Boo server and just like all these other servers that I'm in, they all feel really welcoming and really nice. So if you don't use Discord, would highly recommend you can join me on my Discord. We can grind together and work to be the best version of ourselves. I know this is a very long and extensive video, but I hope you enjoyed these resources and know that we can do it. We can do this and we can become the best version of ourselves, and it's okay to use a little bit of assistance or use a little bit of help like these apps. Once again, thank you Identity for sponsoring this video. I'll leave links for everything that I mentioned in the description. We can do it, fam. Thanks for watching and I will see you next time. Bye!